And one and two and hey George, how you doing?
Hey, doing all right. How you doing, Dez?
Oh, pretty good, pretty darn good. You know what I mean?
That's good. You know,
Yeah.
you'll be feeling better after I give you this next request.
Oh yeah, yeah.
From now on, address me as Your Honor.
All right, that's an idea. I decline that particular honor. But thank you.
All right, you just call me Captain.
Nah.
All right. So, how's your soundboard?
Oh, pretty good. You know, it's quality stuff. You know, it provides shelter in case the roof caves in. Always a possibility. Sometimes it makes you a bit jittery because the light and the humming and the beeping can keep you up a little bit, but life, you need pointless little problems. That's what you need, you know.
No, I don't know.
Well,
I'd actually like less problems. I need
uh,
less problems, you know?
all right. Speaking of problems, you were talking about how you would improve the world if you were given total control of it.
Okay, my first law is legalizing duels.
Why?
Why? That's a good question. Like
Yeah,
I'm
no,
in my perfect
it's
society.
you what?
Yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, why is a very important question. You want to have something as pointless and brutal as duels be around.
Because duels would make perfect television. That'd be great television.
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose.
You if there was duels on TV, what you'd watch it, right?
Maybe in the 90s. I
Oh
don't really
yeah.
watch television.
Oh, I see. Well, you'd watch it on YouTube,
Yeah, yeah, maybe
like
if
highlights.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube about like harming people or like prank stuff, just things that are used to mock or harass or harm. And I know that's popular, but I cringe just watching things like what the clips of what's that prank show where those four guys they're and then they have a challenge at the end of the episode.
Oh,
Pranksters,
Impractical Jokers.
impractical jokers. I I don't like watching them bother random people very much. I don't mind the clips where they're just horsing around with each other, but I kind of have to look away when they uh, engage with regular people that aren't involved in their project.
I think the thing about Impractical Jokers is that their pranks on the public usually involves making themselves look like fools.
No, I mean I totally get that, but
Yeah.
they're imposing themselves on other people, and like I don't want some random person to talk to me when I'm out and about in the world. Certainly not to do some stupid thing on camera. I and I have a little bit of trouble watching it happen to other people.
Has it? You sound pretty traumatized. Has something like this happened to you?
No, no comment.
No comments. Oh yeah.
uh, I don't know. Are
Yeah.
you a fan of pranks or just bothering people in public, I guess?
I like Impractical Jokers, but I think I like their vibe better than someone like Sasha Baron Cohen. For some reason, his pranks feel way more mean-spirited, especially now that he's not funny anymore. You can really tell it's a malicious activity that he's doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where his quality's at. I remember enjoying Borat.
Yeah,
Um, and you know that goes against a bit of what I was saying because a lot of what he was doing was humiliating to his
yeah,
subjects. Um, but you know it was played in since he wasn't like the straight man or no not the since he wasn't like actively attacking them as Sasha Cohen but instead was playing his Borat character and the whole thing was filmed as if it was uh I don't know a
a
documentary.
documentary.
It seemed like everything was involved in the story, so it didn't seem like Sasha Cohen was making people look like idiots. It looked like a real person named Borat was just sort of a fish out of water in another society, and it was ridiculous. It seemed more like a movie than a prank show.
Yeah,
But I
but
haven't seen any of his newer stuff. I know
oh,
he did some stuff, but I haven't seen it.
it's a he had his like show out like maybe last year or the year before called What is America?
Yeah,
It's
I remember him doing that.
trash.
I remember seeing the clips where he was getting some people in prominent position to admit to ugly things, but or you know look like gross human beings. But I didn't see uh, it really further. I remember him getting, like I said, just seen clips. I remember the bit where he got Dick Cheney to sign a gallon bottle or like a bottle of water to or something that it was a waterboarding bottle. He got him to sign it. That another one where he just like sat there and said ridiculous things to Bernie Sanders, or that one. Well, I forget who it was, but it was some politician that he was. Uh, there was that Guns for Children commercial that they did, and then that other guy
Yeah.
where he was like threatening Islamic extremists with homosexual temptation. But I understand that he also like outside of the random clips I saw, which I I I kind of got a kick out of, but just the clips that he actually um, I don't know put it more on regular people and not just the monsters who run our society. Is that about right?
I mean, I think I've only seen like one episode, but I mean, his it seems like his approach is just worn thin, you know.
It could
And it's
be.
like his, and I just remember watching Borat, and now I think about it, it's like people who are welcoming to outsiders deserve to be mocked. I think that's his message, you know, like if you're
Yeah,
hospitable, you're a fool, and the guest should try to humiliate you with every turn, you know?
that was sort of a big part of that. It wasn't like the clips where he was I don't know getting powerful people to make idiots of themselves. The original Borat was just sort of mocking the culture of the people that he interacted with. It worked, but you're right. If you think about it, it's just sort of unkind.
Yeah, and he obviously looks down on like regular working class people.
Yeah, sure.
That's a whole his like if you've seen like his comedy, a lot of it, most of it is him
Is what?
making fun at. If you've seen his comedy, like Ollie G Show, or
Oh, no, I just
you
know of
know,
it. I've never seen it.
a lot of his like humor is based on like, oh, look how ridiculous the working class people are, how ignorant and uneducated and bigoted these regular people are.
Oh yeah, yeah. There seems to be a regular hunt. Like, what sort of people can we put down now? And certainly attack ideas, but I don't know if there are genuine deficits or gripes about perspectives. I don't think insulting or degrading regular people who have those beliefs just because that's what they understand in their own world is really the way to change any hearts and minds. It'd be just sort of like let's all us together on our side just shit on a group of people that thinks and operates differently. Um,
Yeah.
I get your point. Yeah.
It's I don't know, I guess he's part of that aristocrat class that runs the world, you know?
no, no, probably not. I
But
don't
yeah, I
see
mean, he went
that.
to like Cambridge and stuff. He went
Oh,
to like elite, universities,
yeah, but
and
to
he,
act,
you know, well,
actors
no,
are not really
no,
like I
he, no, this guy, yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen, he did go to like Oxford and stuff.
what?
He like went to like, yeah, he went to elite, like, he went to like Oxford.
Well, I mean, there are middle class, and middle class means something different in England than it does in the
No,
United States. But
well, he's upper class.
yeah, but no, no. See, middle class England. I think what they've got is like working class, middle class, and then royals. Just like the
Mm.
super affluent. So middle class in the United States is just like I own a home. I've got a certain amount of income, but middle class in Britain seems to include the wealthy. Like those terms are not equivalent. It's not a straight one to one. And there are performers from England who came from what they would refer to middle class and us wealthy to more of the elite private schools and that doesn't mean that he would be of like the donor class. That means that he would just sort of be of I don't know, a more refined social and economic class. Uh, the actors are a little bit different than the donor class. Like I made that comment about Johnny Depp owning an island yesterday or whenever it was, but what an actor is essentially a worker who, due to their value, they've been able to dictate the terms of their employment to confusing high rates sometimes with these people. Uh, but they are not necessarily of the that's kind of a digression. I don't actually know how wealthy Cohen is, but I don't think that somebody being of the wealthier class in England is a tie-in to like the donor class in America and the West.
Well, the rich people are the aristocrats. They're the ones who run like political parties.
Yeah, but
You know,
it's
like
not the same. Like there are genuinely wealthy people who throw money into politics on both sides so that their interests are met, and that's not everybody that has a high income. Um, not saying anything further than that, but like I don't I don't know this, but this guy who studied clowning uh, and performs fake characters and tries to prove a point by making people look like idiots. Like him having money doesn't mean that he is of a higher class of
No,
donors.
he came from a rich family.
Well, yeah, but
I'm not sure if they're nobility, but they're like in
nobility,
that stratum.
nobility,
Yeah.
isn't he? He's uh he wouldn't be English nobility.
Well, I'm not saying I'm saying they're his family. I don't think they're nobility, but they're in that like that stratum.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like I don't want to comment too much on something that I don't know, but I know that there's not a one-to-one. Like everybody that is in like a doctor, lawyer, or business person isn't automatically in the donor class. That could be just somebody that's had a good job, a good run of luck, or inherited something. And then there's people that are genuinely wealthy and they put a large amount of their money into controlling public policy. And this guy who just goes out and annoys people for yucks, who's studied under clowns and does characters, if he came from enough money to go to a prestigious school, that doesn't automatically mean that he is of the upper echelon of the people that are paying to uh, control policy. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I know the Baron Cohen family personally, you
Oh,
know, and yeah,
well,
they're up there.
oh, well,
Well, they're barons. You know, that's a noble title of nobility. So
that you've taken it in a direction that I can't possibly argue against. I mean, you know them and you know them to be barons, and that is why they are named. So, uh, you know, yeah.
actually, that was a joke.
Oh, well, see,
Permission to laugh.
yeah, you're my main news source. I become
Oh,
confused and agitated when you say something that isn't true.
yeah. Yeah. So, but I'm just yeah, like the thing about like this is his What is America?
Yeah.
That approach, it seemed like it would have worked maybe 15 years ago, you know, but now we're in a different, like a much different world, you know.
Well, I mean, it's more polarized, but I did not see. I mean, it seemed polarized and angry at the time, but I did not see enough of the current show to say anything on it because what I mostly saw was him uh, uh, making I don't know people like Dick Cheney look stupid or making a fool of himself by wasting Bernie Sanders' time, stuff like that. If he was actually doing the stuff, um, like I saw that a bit of it where he was in an art gallery and trying to convince a woman that he'd defecated on canvas or something like that. And
Yes, I remember this.
yeah, and I didn't think that that was particularly funny, nor do I think people that sort of curate art are the same as ineffective leaders or the wealthy people who fix policy to ameliorate themselves. I've got no problem with artists or people who run art galleries. Um, I thought it was funny when he was convincing that guy to try to defend against Islamic terrorists by tempting them with his butt. You know, that was funny, but that was just a clip, so I can't claim to have a good standing understanding of the whole show based on the pieces I saw. I thought some bits were funny from the bits I saw, and some bits were just sort of like tedious and cringy.
You know, the thing is, like, what makes it so outdated is that he still talks about the war on terror and like terrorists when no one's thought about that hasn't been on anyone's mind for the past, I don't know, 10 years, you know?
I mean, I don't know if that's true. It hasn't been as big news that George W. Bush attacking the wrong country twice, and the serious fallout from that, and the attacks on the country that led up to that. But I don't know that we've all sort of given up on Islamic terrorism as a thing that exists, or any kind of, yeah. I mean, a long way to say. I don't know if that's the case. I think that there are things that have taken precedence. Like there have been world events that fairly recently have altered the quality of life of every human being on the planet, or at least reached them. And when something happens to people that are not you, you can kind of go along and pretend that you're in the real world and other things aren't occurring. So there's certainly been more demanding issues.
But what I'm trying to say is that this like his him still like him targeting people like Dick Cheney and talking about like the war on terror. It just makes his show feel like he's still stuck in the good old George W. Bush years.
Well, I don't know.
He
I
still
mean,
thinks it's like the George
I,
W. Bush era.
I don't think that war criminals bouncing around today and having some attachments to power still is old enough that we should just sort of forget about it and not care anymore. I mean, I don't think it's really harming anybody of a particular ideological bent to sit on a screen and make fun of a famous American war criminal
Yeah.
for
Well,
yucks. I've got no problem if he wants to make fun of Dick Cheney.
I have no problem with that myself at all. It's a free country, right? But I'm just saying that the fact that he still tries to prank Dick Cheney and probably Colin Powell, like people from the Bush years,
I
just
never
makes
saw
it
him talk to Colin Powell. Was that,
oh,
what did he do with Colin Powell?
I'm guessing he talks to Colin Powell. He pranked Colin Powell.
I think. Oh, I don't know. I'm aware of Sarah Palin, but she's still topical in the news.
Oh,
She's running
really?
again. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's
Oh,
running for I think a Senate office in Alaska.
oh, nice.
And one of the people that she's running against is a socialist I think Democratic socialist who legally changed his name to Santa Claus, and he looks just like Santa Claus.
Yeah, he does not sound like a serious candidate. It's
He
a matchup made in heaven. In heaven.
No, I think it's more of I don't know. I mean, he looks like he's in his 70s. He seems like he's smart enough, but it's not like he's a crazy person, but more
Yeah.
he's taking things light. I can't sell you on this guy, but I think if you were to look into him, you'd you'd kind of like him, especially compared to Ms. Palin.
Yeah, I mean, well, how like wasn't she? She was. She had like her 15 minutes. Like, what
Oh,
was it? Oh
she never
four.
went away. She never went away. She's been on some of those reality shows. I think she had her own TV show. I can't tell you much about it.
Yeah,
So she had her 15 minutes when what McCain they wanted somebody interesting for him to run with, and it ended up tanking him because he was sort of a serious moderate guy, and they attached him to somebody who's kind of silly and extreme.
the what was it? The Maverick Express. Is that what they
Yeah,
called it?
yeah.
Yeah.
He probably would have had a much better chance if he had gone with somebody who was a bit more level-headed than Ms. Sarah Palin.
Oh yeah. Who was he running against?
He went out against Obama.
Oh, Obama.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, he should have gotten a better VP running mate.
Well, I
Uh,
think it was one of the things that went there. Like I remember one of the things that people were talking about back when uh, the middle didn't seem so distant from the sides. That you know they're not one party or the other. You would have people that could be swayed by one or the other, and McCain was considered to be a choice, the choice for people who were primarily interested in people with experience. But
mhm.
then he attached himself to Sarah Palin, and the you know the sort of moderate-minded people. You would hear about them not being able to justify going for McCain. I remember one of
Yeah,
the
because they would say that do you want this lady to be one heartbeat away from the presidency?
that was exactly right. Yeah, they this person that was largely marketed and understood by the country to be a moderate, level-headed guy. I'm not saying that, but people didn't dislike John McCain. He'd been
Yeah, he
around
was an
forever.
institution.
He was, yeah, and he was friends with everybody. He wasn't nasty. He was sort of a, I don't know, the generation before today where people all need to make a nasty stand, like the last when the votes went through on the recent Supreme Court nominee, the Republicans got up and walked out of the room. We've just sort of gotten really unfriendly representatives now, and McCain was before that. So people are mostly interested in experience and decorum, and Obama, who is fresh in his role and running for office, seems so young and inexperienced. But then McCain ties himself to somebody who's extreme in her mannerisms and statements, that they can't justify uh, supporting who they would be most inclined to support anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they should get like someone they should get an extremist, but someone who's extreme like in a good way.
I I I think, yeah, I would appreciate if there were a little bit more variety than just the two increasingly extreme options, and that we would have somebody who is sort of New Deal minded, who recognizes that yeah, we've kind of got something, but it needs some serious updates, and it's been a while since we've had some serious updates. And that, but without getting into specifics, and without denigrating anybody's opinion or position. And this is more than I'd be interested in getting into, because I just don't want to piss people off like that. But I don't think we have or have had anybody who is interested in diverting away from the status quo in a way that would provide the updates that our society needs to work better going forward.
The status quo it's too entrenched. They say that once like a organization has reached a certain amount of corruption, the harder it is for it to reform that, to get rid of the corruption, because if there's enough corrupt people, there's there's enough people who have an incentive to keep the corruption going. So the more corrupt it is, the more people that have the incentive to not ever want to change.
Oh, sure. Yeah, if you're able to tie money to something, and then once a thing has been done, you can do it then after. So all it takes is somebody making a little bend or a tear here or there. And if a certain thing is able to be politicized, and the reason why you politicize is to ameliorate somebody that already has enough funds to influence it. It's very difficult to remove that influence. So you're exactly right. If corruption is going to be defined by, twisting a thing for your own benefit, for the love of money, the root of all evil, is I believe you've said. Um, uh, it would be very difficult to get that out, which is why I would rather have somebody who has, certainly an appreciation for a lot of the realities of our society, but just recognizing that it requires some updates. We've kind of allowed some things to fall behind it in my view.
Yeah, duly noted.
Oh, thank you.
So, but I had this question.
Yeah.
Did you like Jackass?
Yeah, I remember a couple things from the first movie.
I think most of their things are subjecting themselves to harm instead of people in the public. You probably prefer that to Impractical Jokers, right?
Well, so I like the Impractical Joker bits that I've seen where, and there are some that they've done that, like the first time I saw that one where one of those guys went up and gave a wedding speech in front of a bunch of strangers, and it was just vulgar, and he was upsetting the whole room. I laughed pretty hard at that, but generally, I prefer the things they do that are leaving people alone. But Jackass is, I think I'd have to be in the right mood, and I don't imagine myself being in the right mood anytime soon. Like I remember uh, the three things that come to mind. One is the guy has his penis with paper on it and a string, and he's dancing it around in a snake cage to get the snake to bite him on the genitals. Another is they're trying to get this guy to take a dump in a display toilet at a store, but he can't hold it, and he shits his pants in the van. And then they do it again another time, and he successfully goes into the store and craps in a toilet. And then another one, I remember a bungee jump thing where they're like in a used porta potty, and they have the bungees on either side, and you get to watch the indoor cam where they're and I think they've got another one where they just push them down the hill in a portable toilet. So that's a long way of saying I don't really have a strong need to watch people do things like that at this time.
Yeah. What would be a perfect mindset for you, like to watch that movie? Maybe like an IPA, and you're with your bowling team after like a tournament victory.
Uh,
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. The novelty of that kind of shock. I don't know what kind of headspace I'd have to be in these days. I just can't imagine myself enjoying it. Um, it's no narrative. It's just sort of scenes of awful things, and some of them make you cringe back in sort of an empathetic uh, response. I don't know. I don't want them while I'm consuming alcohol or with the imagined bowling buddies. I don't know. Do you like that stuff? The jackass people crapping their pants and kicking themselves in the face and all that stuff.
Maybe when I was like younger, but I haven't
Yeah.
watched that in years. But it seems like a lot of YouTube stuff is pretty much uh like a variation on that.
Well, oh yeah, we're bringing culture to YouTube. We're pulling it away from blue humor like
Pranks.
that.
A lot of like was 80% of YouTube's pranks.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, that's our utility.
Yeah, it's a little, we provide a little something different. But you know what I don't,
Yeah.
you know what I don't like
Yeah.
is the prank videos where they, for example, they give like a homeless person like $1,000 or tip, like leave a large tip.
Yeah.
I mean, like, even though those pranks are supposed to be positive, it leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
I don't like the whole doing something good for people, but then like broadcasting it to the world.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
that quote in the Bible saying that if you do something good, your reward is in heaven. But if you blab about it, your reward is already on earth.
Yeah. Yeah. We've spoken about this a bit, and I too am annoyed by it. However, like like a part of apart from the animal needs that we need to keep an organism alive, it seems like we are driven by social capital and different kinds of social capital. And if some kind of advertising your behaviors or um, bragging, I don't know, encourages good behavior or encourages good behavior in others, then I'm for it. I too am annoyed by value value. What's the term? The value where you're kind of like bragging about your social position and
Virtue signaling,
you what
virtue signaling.
virtuous. Thank you. That annoys me. I don't care for that, but if you're talking about like giving, I mean, you use the example of giving homeless people money. If your annoying actions cause people to suffer less, like I don't want to be exposed to people just look how great I am, or I'm doing the
Yeah.
right thing, aren't you? Or I don't know, something like that. Um, I don't need that, but if it decreases suffering, then I can stomach it. But I'm not saying it does. I don't know if it does, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna watch it, but I would rather have people. I mean, if someone's life gets better from it,
yeah,
so be it. That's good. I'm just not gonna. I just can't. I just get achy watching it.
I no, I get that. I don't know the best way to make social change other than, I mean, I don't know at all, but if
Uh,
if there are like movements of people doing the right thing and encouraging themselves, people don't have the right thing in mind. Like the person who's getting social capital by having a YouTube video where they're giving money to a homeless person, they would have gotten that same social capital by throwing a rock at somebody's face who's getting burned at the stake hundreds of years ago. So, um, I mean, if our natural human drives are coercing us and those around us to do something good, uh, I don't know. I agree. It's hard to watch. It's
yeah.
hard to be around.
Like what the move is if you want to help like a homeless person, just give them money or a job or whatever, but don't like go on the internet like bragging about it.
Yeah,
I think it's classier to actually just help someone and not make a big deal of it.
well, if I were in the position where I'm down and out, or begging, uh, I probably wouldn't want to be made a spectacle of.
Oh yeah.
Like I imagine it's an insult. Like you give somebody money who's on the street, and it helps them out. But if you just add into that, say, "Aren't you cute? I'm giving you money. You're not doing it for yourself. I'm special. I'm a good person for giving you money. Here's the person's face." It just seems like a humiliation to a person who, by the standards of our society, is already living in humiliation. And I don't want to see the innate dignity of a human life, which stops existing once we stop believing in and acknowledging it. I don't want to see that that dignity be abused. I would like us to continue valuing the innate dignity and respectability of a human life. So, like, if you want to brag or something like that, don't shove a camera in a homeless person's face, but start a charity, and be clear about where the money's going, and brag. Say, hey, look, I've started a charity. I'll do this if you gave me money. Isn't this a good charity? We've been doing it for years. It's helped all these sorts of people. I'd be okay with that bragging, not the I helped one person and so I'm better than you, or you need to follow me. Because I've humiliated a person on the street for my own social capital.
Yeah. Have you heard of this guy called Mr. Beast?
Yes. Yeah, no, he's somebody you see ads for, and I understand he's big on YouTube, but I've never consumed his content.
I've actually consumed his burger.
He made a burger?
Well, yeah, he has this chain of burger restaurants called Beast Burger.
Really?
And
How is it?
yeah, I mean the burger itself's pretty good, it's it comes with a curly fry, well, not curly fries, crinkle cut fries. And it's the burger, it's, let's say, you've had like In and Out.
Yeah.
Not In and Out, Five Guys.
Been longer. Since I probably have, but I couldn't imagine a distinction of that company's food.
Well, it's probably like a Five Guy, like maybe a step below a Five Guys burger.
Okay. Well, what about Beast?
Beast.
What about Mr. Beast?
Oh, his whole thing is like he gives ridiculous amounts of money on YouTube, and that's why he's so famous.
Okay.
Right. But like just and like he does stuff like I don't know, like grab, like he'll like have like maybe a pallet of $1 million in cash, and you would have to you know just grab as much as you can, or he'll make a whole spectacle of it, right?
Oh, does he
But
give to charities and stuff like that too?
oh, I'm pretty sure he does, but a lot of it's like from I haven't seen a video, but I'm thinking a lot of it's like man on the street stuff.
Like sticks a microphone in somebody's face and says, if you can answer this, I'll give you $1,000 type of thing.
Yeah, that's what I've heard,
Okay.
and yeah, like this this I was at work at the image consulting firm, right?
Yeah.
And I ordered a Mr. Beast burger, and one of my coworkers is a younger guy. He's like, oh, I didn't know he had a burger, and then like I was like but then he like talked about him a little bit, and you should see in the look in his eyes, it's like he gives everyone so much money, like it's like Mr. Beast is like the one, he's like the person that gives the us regular people hope.
Oh, well,
But
I don't know
like
enough about. Maybe he does genuinely good things with his money, but if it's just like little examples,
a lot of spectacle.
well, yeah. If it's a like, do you know the YouTube cartoonist and animator Meat Canyon?
No.
He does these sort of surreal, disturbing comedy animations, but he did this one with Mr. Beast and his crew, and there were jokes around it. But part of the premise was that Mr. Beast was giving enough money to a kid who was in the hospital dying of cancer to cure his cancer or treat him or something like that. And the joke goes in a different direction. But if Mr. Beast is like saving people's lives or taking people out of a bad situation, I mean, it's not my type of entertainment, and it's not wholly valuable to society if they're just sort of taking individual examples for content. But if he's helping the desperate, even a one by one, oh, a one by one basis, just for content, then that's still a good thing.
Yeah,
You,
but
you,
I
you
just
heard,
find it interesting that he's like the biggest celebrity we have in the world right now. It's
is
just
he?
make Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think he has billions of views every video, but it just seems like our society, everyone's like so desperate and there's so hopeless to everyone's like so hopeless that they can't like have a good standard of living, like working on their own, or that they have to look up to this guy who has magical amounts of money given he just gives out money.
Oh yeah, they like they'll do news stories on like a person buys organ on Kickstarter campaign, or just these long shot things, and they look at them as if they're some kind of a hopeful story. But what it actually indicates is that people, if the values of the society that they live in were different, uh, it wouldn't be like a rare, wonderful thing that they had to do some crowdfunding thing and survive. Like those crowdfunding things almost never get funded. There's so many of them, and there are probably quite a lot of those that are people dying of treatable ailments, and like some of them get picked up, and it's supposed to be an inspirational story. I mean, I'm happy that it does for those people. I hope it helps, but it just reminds me of all the people that are suffering because the only way that a person can pay their medical bills or what have you are on these Kickstarter campaigns. When you're showcasing these long shot stories, Mr. Beast or whatever, about a person who shouldn't be suffering, and how they're rocketed out of suffering because of luck or something. It's not a hopeful scene. It's it's something ugly about our society that is twisted into a hopeful scene by just taking the good luck of one individual. But the good luck of one individual is implying a whole society of people that are not lucky. um, like not everybody who needs a liver is going to win one on a Kickstarter campaign, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it should not be a inspirational story that one person passes the hat around on the internet and gets enough money to get life-saving surgery, because that means that like for that one person, you know thousands and millions of people are dying because they can't, because their Kickstarter campaign is not successful.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not.
it's great when somebody gets through, but everybody should be getting through. If we have the capacity to treat something, we should treat it. Like
Yeah.
if human, it's sort of like what I was talking about the innate value, the dignity of a human life. If we don't acknowledge it, it doesn't exist. If it's more important for us to have cute stories or uh, you know money in the pocket of people that pay both parties to influence policy, that degrades the innate quality of human life. If there are resources, um, they should kind of go where they're most demanded. Like we were talking about last time. I'm not really bothered if somebody has more than they need or way more than they need. But the idea is, if there are resources that are needed someplace, needed, or like a child will die if they are needed someplace, and instead they're in somebody's pocket who doesn't need it. That's wrong, isn't it? Isn't that wrong?
Yeah, if it's not getting to where it needs to be, that's not the optimal outcome.
Yeah, yeah. There's an idea that I'm a fair proponent of, or I'm a proponent of, is the irreducible minimum. Where, yeah, are you familiar with the term?
Told me about it before.
Okay.
If I can guess if I remember correctly, it's just the basic standard of living that everyone should have access to.
Yes, yes. I think that there should absolutely be a goal, certainly locally, and then spiraling outward until it's just sort of an entitlement by the human race. I would prefer, um, but that there is a minimum standard of living, and I don't think that that should be necessarily very high. Like, I don't think people are entitled to nice things. I think it's okay to work hard or even luck into better quality things than most people have, or to have things that you don't need. That's fine with me. But if a person does not have a place to live or food to eat, or, yeah, even so much as access to the things that they would need to participate in society, like access to medicine, to school, and in this day and age, as much as I hate to say it, because I have some conflicting views about it, but I think people should have a basic right to be able to use a phone and the internet, because if they do not have access to those things, they are going to be isolated. They're going to be left behind by society. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, like I would say that the minimum standard is that people should have at least a clean, safe place to sleep. Was access to healthcare and food and the job.
there definitely should, in a society that is dictated by the market. Um, it seems wrong that there's not a federal jobs program, because we've kind of decided that people are worth what value they can produce. They're worth the value that they can produce for the society. So we kind of need to line them up with the ability to create that value if we have any compassion. At the
Well,
very
we do have a
least, if
federal jobs program.
we
It's
do.
called it's called the prison system.
Ugh.
That's where they put leftover people people they don't want to hire for minimum wage, and they pay them like pennies an hour.
I mean, they're
That's the closest thing to a jobs program we have right now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's very sad.
Yeah.
Like we've got prisons as a business where it is in their best interest to collect people, so that they can get government money. And we've incentivized them to have as low as overhead as possible. So they just sort of collect people, and maintain them for the smallest amount possible, and pocket all they can. I
And then they rent them out to other to companies
well,
for
sure,
slave wage.
it's slave labor for,
Yeah.
like, token wages.
Yeah.
It's like wages that you can, they exist for the sake of you being able to say, no, it's not slave labor, we're paying them.
Yeah.
That's what the payment is about.
Yeah.
Let's switch topics, because we have gone over time, and I'd like to, like, the past couple episodes, in our own way, we've been kind of riffing about ugly things, and there has been something that is not ugly at all that I can say before we have to depart. Uh, are you ready? Are you amped up for something pleasant?
Oh yeah.
I was at a thrift shop the other day, and I found a copy, complete, of Crazy Taxi for the PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
Crazy Taxi on PlayStation 2. That doesn't make sense. That's a Dreamcast game.
it's on the PlayStation 2, unless
Oh,
I haven't tested it. Like, to ruin a good subject, it's actually quite scratched. It looks like it might not play, but uh, it's it says it's you know
is it a
uh,
rare movie?
a rare
Is
movie.
it a rare game?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't know what it's like for the Dreamcast, but it's
Dreamcast. It was like a launch title. It's a pretty good game. One of the best of its type.
yeah. See,
It's,
that's good news. And
but
and
the PS2 version, I'm a little skeptical of.
the PlayStation 2 was awesome. I
Uh,
mean, it is. It's great. I,
it's
I bought a new laser for my PlayStation 2.
oh yeah.
Yeah, just to keep it alive. It was starting to peter out, and I bought a new laser for it. I really like the system. Um, you know,
Isn't PlayStation 2 the highest selling console of all time?
unless unless the Switch beat it, uh, then yeah, because I know it was for a long time. I don't know where the Switch is, but it's kind of like they say on that on the PlayStation 2 episode of Game Sack. Dave said something like, uh, isn't it possible that those numbers were inflated because people would have to buy another one because their system broke?
Oh yeah.
I think one of the models was known to be faulty, but I've got one of the slim models that's flat on the ground, and I got it secondhand a long time ago, and I think it's a treat. I like the PlayStation
But
2.
I mean, I guess there's better games than PlayStation 1. Like, where are the games that, like, you have to play on PS2?
Let's say, well, I tend to combine because it plays all the PS1 games. Um,
Yeah,
but there's lots of things such as Crazy Taxi.
that's not a PS2 game. That's a Dreamcast game.
Yeah, but it's on the PlayStation. Why are you trying to ruin? Listen. You don't need to rain on my parade. The disc is scratched up. It's right now. That game is like Schrodinger's Crazy Taxi, uh, and as long as I never test the disc, you know, it might work perfectly.
Yeah.
So I don't need you to tell me that it's less than it is. I'm trying to free your mind from sorrow. We're talking about how unideal the world is, and then you're telling me how my solution to all of your depression is insufficient because it's not on the Dreamcast. What are you trying to do here?
Well, I'm actually trying to sell you my Dreamcast.
Oh, okay. Does it work?
Yeah, perfectly.
I'll give you $50 for it.
50.
Yeah.
That's a little low.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can't help inflation. My wages haven't.
That's not how inflation works.
No, I mean, I can't afford to pay you. Uh, I can afford to pay you what your Dreamcast was worth a year ago. I haven't caught up in all of my earnings, so I can pay you uh, a a good deal on your Dreamcast from a year ago. That's the best I got.
From a year ago, that'd be like about like at least $100
Oh,
at least.
no,
And
no,
that's
no,
like
no.
that's a yeah, and
I
that's
was
like
at a game store several months ago, certainly within a year, and I think they had that the black sports Dreamcast in there, and I think that guy
Oh,
had it for like $80.
yeah, but did it have how many controllers did it have?
I don't know, but I mean, you could get a controller for like, all right, the controllers probably go for a bit. It had at least one and hookups, and that's $80 for a one of the rarer Western variations of the console, I think.
Well, it was probably not in good condition. You know,
No,
my Dreamcast is in pristine condition.
all
Plus,
right.
I got it, I'm throwing in games with it too. So
What
like
are you
50
throwing
bu
in?
I think Crazy Taxi, yeah, Marvel versus Capcom,
Yeah,
Shenmue, which
I
is like worth by itself. Shenmue, I would say that's worth $100 right there.
hey, you don't know. 55 for the lot.
Ooh, you're insulting me, man.
No, I'm helping.
No,
Like,
you're not.
why do you want to get rid
You're
of it?
hurting.
I thought you
No,
enjoyed it.
I do. It's my favorite system. It's got a certain je ne sais quoi. I like the aesthetic of it. I like the feeling it gives me. Makes me
Yeah,
feel like I'm in like in the early 2000s, but still in the future. You know,
I get that. I get that.
like I'm
Uh,
in like one of the like who's that guy who made Fifth Element? I feel like I'm in like one of his movies, or I'm in like a
I don't know.
trance music video, you know?
Don't get rid of it. I want to get one at some point because I don't have one. That's on my bucket list to get a, to get
Yeah, but I just have way too many consoles. That's the thing, you know. I'm trying to what was it? You know, streamline my operation.
I guess I actively. I mean, not actively. I don't do it very often. Money's tight, but I like to get consoles that I didn't have before, and I've always really enjoyed the Dreamcast, but I've never owned one.
Oh, it's there's no feeling like it on Earth.
Hey, I want one.
Yeah, well, if you came to me with, you know, a respectable offer, then you can own one.
Yeah, honestly, what I would do, if you wanted to get rid of it, I'd give you 100 for the bundle, but I don't think that you should get rid of it.
100, huh?
Yeah,
That's a that's a lot of money.
well, it is for me. I I'd have to take that from savings. I don't have my normal budget, but just hang on to it. But
Yeah, okay.
if you ever get to a point where you're like going to take it to the thrift shop, then keep me in
Yeah.
mind because I will give you $100 for it.
All right. Throw in the extra five so I feel like I'm winning.
I'll give you 100 and 4.99 cents.
All right. I mean, that should be acceptable.
Yeah, oh yeah, should be.
All right.
Uh,
Yeah. So I had a shout out.
oh yeah. It's time for shout outs. We're almost 20 minutes over.
Yeah, Birmingham, Michigan.
Okay. Well, can you tell us about Birmingham? Don't they make bicycles?
Uh, Not sure about that, but Tim Allen's from there.
Oh, which Tim Allen?
The that guy on that show. Exactly. Yeah.
One of my
Yeah.
famous impressions.
Oh. Yep.
Uh,
David Spade.
okay, I know who that is.
Uh, Dave Trott, U.S. Congressman.
Oh, well, I'm sure he's a peach.
Yeah. Randall Bryant. He was the dean of the Carnegie Mellon School of Computer Science.
Oh, well, knowledge is power. Learn computers, guys.
Yep.
I learned a bit of Python coding language. So
Is it an object oriented programming sort of language?
uh, I I don't know. What do you mean?
Well, like, it's just like a type of language they call object oriented programming. I'm
Off
not
the
sure
top?
exactly how it, what?
Oh, it was off the top of my head. I don't I don't know what. I can't think of the phrase. I just sort of remember bits and pieces from a course I took way back.
Oh yeah. Like I was just trying to sound like I knew what I was talking about, you
Hey,
know.
I barely know. I would just recognize the code as being what it is if I saw it.
Uh,
I wrote some very simple programs. You know,
oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's it's probably a it's a marketable skill now that you have. You can put that on your resume.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll be sure to do that.
Yeah. Well, I also have another shout out.
I
Bend,
cannot wait.
Bend, Oregon.
Bend, Oregon. I hope everything is well in Bend, Oregon. I hope they've got a lovely local microbrew.
I don't think they don't make beer in Oregon, just IPAs and stuff. They don't make anything like Busch Light or
I, I,
PBR.
I think you're confused on a couple of points.
They just make like don't they make like IPAs out there?
You know, I hope so.
That's not real beer. That's liquid hell. Way too bitter.
Oh, oh.
Liquid torture.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, Ben, I hope you guys are doing okay.
Yeah, yeah. Pour one out for George Shooter Nolan and Desisant, your friendly podcast friends.
All right. Take care and keep it G style.
You do it.
All right.
All right. Bye bye.
Goodbye.